let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. Show up on Monday night. Pittsburgh Steelers 0-1. Cleveland Browns 1-0, coming off a very impressive win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Shut down Joe Burrow. I think people are using that. Everybody and their mother's using that as an excuse of why the Pittsburgh Steelers should not panic right now. I think it's a good argument, but at the same time, every team's different. Every week's different. This is week 2. Football becomes real. The wonkiness is behind us. You look at the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, obviously the biggest names to come to Pittsburgh on Monday night. What is your key to victory in this ball game for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I think it kind of falls on the defense, and I think you got to make the Browns one-dimensional. I think you got to force Deshaun Watson to make some plays. Like you got to limit Nick Chubb. Like he's going to get his. He's going to go for at least 60 yards and a touchdown. But if you can do enough to limit him and force Deshaun Watson to make some plays, I think that's where you can start to really take advantage of that offense, and then make life a little bit easier on your offense, which is struggling right now and has been struggling, I guess, for a while.
Yes.
But I think the offense is going to come along, quite honestly. Like I have a lot more faith in their ability to put some points on the board this week than the defense's ability to keep points off the board for the Browns. So I think I think the defense is really going to tell it's Pittsburgh's defense versus Cleveland's offense that is really going to tell the story of this game. It's going to.
Yeah, I agree. The defense obviously huge. The inside linebackers I think are huge. The defensive line, how you overcome Cam Hayward's injury, huge. Just like I agree with you. Like shutting down Nick Chubb is as hard as it gets in the NFL, and if you do that, you gain a huge. Because I just don't have faith in Deshaun Watson right now. He's shown me nothing. He didn't look good in week 1. At no moments have we been like, oh, Deshaun Watson's back, man. Look at this guy. No, and I don't think he'll ever be back. Like, I think you take that much time off of football and you deal with everything that Deshaun Watson had to deal with or put himself through, you have a really low chance of bouncing back and being the player that you were before all that. I think Deshaun, just like you said, like you put the ball in Deshaun Watson's hands, you say, hey, Deshaun, you got to go win this. I think the Steelers walk away with a victory, but shutting down Nick Chubb is as hard as they come. Like that is as difficult as it comes. Just to add on to your defense here, Dwan Jones said that he sees that TJ Watt likes to open his chest up a little bit when he's rushing off the edge, and he thinks that his length is 6'8" arms, 36.5-inch wings or arm length, whatever it is, has the ability to kind of give him a little hit, stop him, slow him down a little bit. Sure. I think we'll see what happens there, but I think TJ Watt's huge in this one. Like I think stopping Nick Chubb, it goes to the middle of the field more, but when Deshaun does drop back, like if TJ could just be an absolute monster over there and just give him no help at all, you take such an upper hand in this game. You've essentially removed their quarterback, or you force them to find a way to double team TJ Watt, and then you got Alex Highsmith on the other side, and that's not ideal for anybody. So I think that would be huge. I do agree. I think the defense is so big in this game, and it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm actually very excited to see what they can do against Nick Chubb, just because last week Christian McCaffrey is a different animal. You got to worry about Christian McCaffrey 100%, but when they ran up the middle with Christian McCaffrey, they didn't have like all the success in the world. They did at times, but at other times they were like, the 49ers kind of struggled. When you bounced it outside, it was huge. When you started working the play action, and when you started, the passing game is what was really the killer.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, go ahead. No, finish it.
No, go ahead.
The Browns don't have a Brandon Ayuk or a Deebo Samuel or a George Kittle that you have to work. Well, Kittle didn't play?
Yeah, Kittle played.
Oh, Kittle played. Yeah, so you've got, 3 other guys that I think you're worrying about on top of Christian McCaffrey. The Browns don't really have that, they don't.
They got an old Amari Cooper.
Yeah, and everyone keeps telling me that David Njoku is good. I'll believe it when I see it like that. Yeah. I pick that guy up in fantasy all the time, and he just stinks like this. And every time I watch a Browns game, I'm like, this guy. He had one like great catch for 15 yards, and that's about it. There just aren't the same kind of threats. So I think it's a lot easier. The task is honestly a lot easier than the 49ers to make this team one dimensional is a bit of an easier challenge this week than it might have been last week.
Yeah, I agree. My key to victory here is the running game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Get this game out of Kenny Pickett's hands. This should not be a Kenny Pickett redeem yourself game. This should not be a, Matt Canada's got to prove that he's a good offensive coordinator game. Nothing. Put the ball in Najee Harris's hands time after time after time. Put the ball in Jaylen Warren's hands time after time after time. You don't need 60-yard runs. You don't need 30-yard runs. You need 6-yard bursts right up the middle. Keep the chains moving. Let everything, work as it does. Keep the game in your control. You control the clock. You control the scoreboard. You can win this football game. Stop making it don't put up 30 points. Put up 21 and let them score 14. And, you're fine. You came into this season and all summer long we heard, Matt Canada said it himself in the spring and he was so pissed that he had to say it, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to summarize here and I'm going to put words in his mouth, but he pretty much said, yeah, Art Rooney and Mike Tomlin and everybody else told me that we got to run the football and that's the offense that we're going to run. And then they went into week 1 and they went all throughout the preseason and it was like, oh no, this is Kenny Pickett's offense, man. This is a passing offense. And I get it. You go down by 30 points or you go down 30-7, you got to throw the football every single time. Don't just start this game off. Don't let Kenny Pickett shouldn't throw a pass on the first drive. Just hand it off to Najee Harris, hand it off to Jaylen Warren. Let him do their thing. See if you can win it that way. I think you could. You got the offensive line. You got the running backs. Throw it once every 5 plays. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I love that. Feed Cleveland a taste of their own medicine.
Yep.
You got the horse to do that.
Yeah. Control the clock. Control the game. I think that's the biggest thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, just to kind of get them back into rhythm. From there, figure it all out. But they went on that run in the second half of the season because of their running game.
Absolutely.
Try to do it again. All right. Week 2, we were way off on this one in week 1. Let's see if we can bounce back here. Same line. The Cleveland Browns come to Pittsburgh. This is the first time, I don't know, in at least my time covering the team, that the Steelers have been back-to-back underdogs at home to start the season. Not looking great, but after last week's loss to the 49ers, I don't know what you can expect. The Cleveland Browns are 2.5-point favorites at Acrisure Stadium, Monday Night Football. You got a prediction here? And is it going to be better than last time?
I sure hope so. I do think it'll be another tight one. I'm thinking the Steelers do win and they cover. I'm thinking like a 23-16 type of thing.
23-16. I like that one. Yeah. A lot of defense? You think there's a lot of defense?
A lot of AFC North football, baby. That's
hot in the kitchen. Red hot kitchen. Painting the barn red on both sides.
That's
Love
right.
It. 2.5 points. Man, I will be honest. I will be very honest. There's a big part of me that thinks the Cleveland Browns are going to win this football game. Big part of me. And I don't feel good about that. I won't put that into the universe. I will not. That's not how you don't manifest things by telling the universe, hey man, I think the Browns are going to win this. But I will. There's a part of me that is internally battling with the Nick Chubb's going to be tough to stop. That defense looks pretty okay. I don't know what to expect from Kenny Pickett yet. I have no idea what to expect from Kenny Pickett yet, because I just, he looked so bad that I just don't know if you bounce back from that in 1 week. I just don't. I think if you follow the game plan that I laid out there and you run the football a lot, I think you do walk away with a win. I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers win this one. I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers win this one. I'm going to go, oh man. I'm going to go 17-14. Pittsburgh Steelers. Chris Boswell wins it at the end. It is a defensive battle. I don't think Kenny gets things rolling this week, but I think he does enough. He doesn't turn the ball over, and I think Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren find their way to the end zone, at least maybe just one apiece. And then, like I said, I think Boz puts it away there at some point. It doesn't have to be a last-second field goal, but I think at some point he puts this one away, and the Cleveland Browns aren't able to do enough. 17-14. I hate low-scoring games. They're just as boring as they come. But if it's a good defensive battle, I'm all about it. So we'll see. Last week, we were a little bit too optimistic. Let's hope we turn that one around this week for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, if they lose, blame that one on me, because I just tossed that one right out there to the world to hear. And I tried to tell myself don't do it, but I got to be honest with everybody who listens at all times.